Okay, so imagine this. You own an incredible supercar, right? A top-of-the-line, precision-engineered machine built for absolute peak performance. Now, what if I told you that your body is that exact same machine? That's the idea we're diving into today, and it all starts with one really critical question. Are you giving it the right fuel?
You know, we've all had it drilled into our heads since we were kids. Eat your vegetables. It's like rule number one for a healthy life. But this whole idea starts by taking that piece of common wisdom and flipping it completely on its head. It asks, what if the very thing we all believe is so healthy is actually causing the problem? So yeah, let's really lean into this supercar idea. Because to figure out what's going wrong, we first have to understand how this amazing engine is supposed to work, and what happens when we start putting the wrong stuff in the tank.
And this, right here, is the question you've got to ask yourself. I mean, seriously, take a second and think about it. What did you eat today? Was it the kind of high-octane, premium fuel this incredible machine was built for? Or was it something else?
This really paints the picture, doesn't it? On one side, you've got that supercar just humming along on premium fuel, engine purring, clean, powerful. But on the other side, just imagine pouring sugar water into that same gas tank. I mean, at first, it might choke and sputter, but pretty soon you're going to see black smoke, the engine's going to fill with sludge, and then nothing. A total breakdown.
And that's the whole point. This isn't really about a car, is it? The theory is that for so many of us, that sputtering, sludge-filled engine isn't just a metaphor. It's literally what's happening inside our bodies day after day when we run on the wrong type of energy. Okay, so if we're filling up with the wrong stuff, what's the right stuff? Well, to get that, you need to understand that our bodies are way smarter than a normal engine. According to this theory, they're much more sophisticated. They're bi-fuel.
It's this idea of a biofuel system. Think about it like a hybrid car, right? It can run on gas, or it can switch to electricity. Our bodies, according to this theory, can run on two different energy sources. The first is glucose, which you get mostly from carbohydrates, sugars and starches. The second is ketones, which your body makes when it breaks down fat.
And man, when you see them side by side, it's a huge difference. Glucose, from carbs, is like throwing gasoline on a fire. Whoosh! A huge, fast burst of energy. But it burns out just as fast, and it leaves behind a lot of gunk, this metabolic sludge they call free radicals that can cause damage. On the other hand, you have ketones from fat. This is presented as the total opposite, a slow-burning log. Clean, steady, long-lasting energy, with almost no waste.
So this all leads to a really wild claim. While our bodies can burn glucose, sure, it was only ever meant to be an emergency backup plan. The theory suggests our biological factory setting is to run on the premium fuel, on fat. But our modern diet has totally flipped that upside down, forcing our bodies to run on the emergency fuel almost all the time.
Right, so that's a pretty huge claim. Where's the proof? Well, the source says you just have to look at our biology. It's like reading the original owner's manual for the human body, our evolutionary blueprint.
And this is where things get really interesting because it completely flips what most of us learned in school. We're told we're omnivores, perfectly designed to eat plants and animals. This theory says, no, not really. We're fundamentally carnivores who just got really, really good at surviving on plants when we had to. Plants were the emergency ration, not the main course.
Get this, just this one fact. Our stomach acid has a pH of about 1.5. I mean, that is ridiculously acidic. That's not the stomach of a plant eater or even most omnivores. That's the stomach of a wolf. It's built to dissolve meat and bone and to obliterate any nasty pathogens that might come along with it.
And then there's the plumbing. You look at a true herbivore like a gorilla, right? They've got this massive, long, large intestine that acts like a giant fermentation tank for tough plants. Ours? It's way shorter. The argument is that it's a classic carnivore design, optimized for one thing, absorbing nutrients from meat, fast, not for slowly fermenting vegetables.
And if you put this on a timeline of human history, it's pretty staggering. We're talking millions of years where our ancestors thrived on animal fat and protein. And the agricultural revolution, the thing that made grains and plants a daily staple, that was only about 10,000 years ago. It's a blink of an eye in evolutionary terms. The argument is our bodies just haven't had nearly enough time to adapt.
Okay, so if plants were just the backup food, what happens when we make them the main event? This theory goes a step further and says it's not just that they're not ideal, it's that they could actually be fighting back. I mean, you look at this, a big bowl of fresh salad. What's the first word that pops into your head? Healthy, right? Of course, it's the poster child for a good diet in our culture.
But what if there's something else hiding in there? See, plants can't run away. They can't fight you off. So over millions of years, they evolved their own sophisticated defense system. Basically, chemical warfare.
And we're talking about things like lectins. Think of them as these tiny, sticky proteins that can gum up the works in your gut, or oxalates, which can form these microscopic, sharp crystals inside your body, and phytic acid, which basically grabs onto minerals like iron and zinc and prevents you from being able to absorb them.
So what's the big deal? Well, the theory is that when we eat a ton of these plant defense chemicals, they constantly irritate our gut lining. This can trigger this low-level chronic inflammation, a kind of constant simmering fire inside our bodies. And that inflammation is pointed to as a potential root cause for so many of the modern health problems we see today. All right, so if the engine's sputtering because the fuel's all wrong, how do you fix it? Well, the proposed solution is basically a system reboot, taking everything back to the original factory settings. And it boils down to 3 pretty simple steps. Step 1, you drastically cut back on the emergency fuel. That's the carbohydrates in the plants that are loaded with those defense chemicals. Step 2, you fill up the tank with premium fuel. We're talking high-quality animal meat and fat. And step 3, which might be the most important part, you just listen. Pay attention to what your body tells you when you finally give it the fuel it was actually designed for.
When you strip it all away, the entire argument comes down to this one really powerful idea, that our bodies are not weak or broken. They are incredible, high-performance machines that have just been chugging along on the wrong kind of fuel. And that original power is still in there, just waiting for you to unlock it.
And that leaves us with this one last question to chew on. After exploring a perspective that challenges so much of what we've been taught, you have to wonder, what if we've had the owner's manual all along, but we've just been reading it wrong? What fuel was your body truly designed to run on?